Welcome, Mary.
Thank you, Jane. Nice to meet you.
So good to have you. So, we're going to talk about journaling, which I think a lot of people ignore as being a really powerful path, but you're going to explain it in a way that makes us all start journaling,
Well, that's good because it's
right?
yeah, it's like
Yeah.
though a secret that it's a fantastic secret that I think that I just want to share it with the world. It's just like, it's
Yeah,
like it's right up there with meditation. It's just woo.
it is. And some of these simple things we tend to ignore when
Right.
they're so important. So you helped yourself when you had MS with journaling. Tell us about that, and then we'll get into your unique.
Okay. Well, it was 20 some years ago, and excuse me, had an MS exacerbation, and I lost a lot of the feeling and function on the right side of my body. So I needed a way to teach myself, and I was just looking for, at that point, just looking for some physical therapy on to learn how to write with my left hand. And I was introduced to Julia Cameron, who had written the book The Artist's Way, and one of the techniques in there was what she called morning pages. And each morning you just write three stream of consciousness of whatever, no thinking, just, intuiting, just feeling, just coming from your body and your being. And I thought, okay, that's a good, easy way to learn how to write left-handed. And I got into it, and it was just like, it's very soon on became a very not only emotional but a spiritual experience. I was going into another world, and and it was interesting from a psychological point of view. I started remembering all these things from my childhood, and one of the key things that came up very early on in the process was I became left-handed very quickly because I remembered in doing my morning pages that a long time ago, when I was probably, I don't know, a second grader, third grader at a good Catholic school in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, the nuns changed me. So, in a word, I was always left-handed. So I thought, and the more I got into this whole process of journaling and just got into writing poetry, remembering things. I remember that I always wanted to be learn how to sing, and I decided, well, I'm going to set a goal. I am going to become a singer. I'm going to take lessons, and now am at the point where I put out a couple of CDs, and so in a word, the experience, as I said earlier, it started out as a physical therapy. It became spiritual therapy, emotional therapy, mental therapy, and I thought, wow, this is fantastic. And I also just decided soon after that, it's like, I'm going to set up a company. I'm going to share this with the world because everybody's got to know about it. Because, like you said, it's it's there. It's in all of us, and it's relatively free. So it's just and really goes against what we're so used to everything being so complicated and that. But it's just so
Mm-hmm.
in the word, it has helped me tremendously as far as um, all of me, my whole being, my mind, my body, my soul, and I've been off of drugs for about 20 some years, so I haven't, and I've changed my diet, and it's just so at the ripe young age of 73, I look and feel like someone much younger. I just feel like I am who I really am. So I owe that and much more to journaling.
Mm-hmm. So, did it help you heal the MS or help you cope? What was the result of that?
Well, I'd say I'm at the point. Excuse me. It it helped me cope, and I'm still right now currently going through finishing up an exacerbation I had, but I really feel that it is helping me heal. I just really believe I'll get to the point one day that I won't have the symptoms of having a neurologic disorder.
Hmm. And the type of journaling, do you teach it as well that you do it first thing in the morning? Because often we're so much more connected to our unconscious at that time. And like you say, you start remembering things and realizing things that need to be healed or they come forward in order to be healed.
Yes, that's my recommendation uh, uh, is to do it first thing in the morning because we don't, I'm not exactly sure where it is we go when we dream and we sleep, but you're right. We're much more attuned to, the world that we live in first thing in the morning. And I think that's the key. But I also appreciate we're all individuals. Some people, works for them to do it at the end of the day before they go to bed. Some people do it, in uh, the middle of the day. Like I always tell everybody, there's only one right way to journal, and that's your way. But like you said, to get back to your main point, it's just really you really get the bang for the buck if you do it first thing in the morning.
And do you also suggest just allowing whatever comes up to come without trying to, think too much?
Oh, absolutely. That's the biggest one of the biggest benefits of journaling. It's like there's no thinking about it. It's not like the way we were taught, and we have to worry about grammar. No, it's something completely new. It's like we're able to be ourselves. Um, whatever we feel, if something's bugging us, or something doesn't, you don't understand, just go for it. And still to this day, my manner of keeping a journal is really big on the free writing. Just sit down and start and just go till you feel like, okay, that's enough. That's what I need to do. So I just think, and just the whole thing, and that's very challenging because I think that's another thing, giving ourselves permission to just be wild, crazy, whoever we really are, that's okay.
Yeah, so letting whatever needs to come out.
Right. And to me, I just trusting the process, and I know things just magically show up. I mean, that's how I came up with the name of for my company and create right now. And the type of journaling that I do is called journaling for the health of it. So it's just like, and
Hmm.
literally, it just came up one day. So it's just like when you're really into it, you're back in your body, you're back into your soul, your whole being, and it's just like whatever's supposed to come up comes up.
Right? Because you're more in tune with that part of us that's connected to everything at that time, too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So give us some more tips on like how you would suggest people start journaling.
I did say to take it very slowly and just, get a notebook, a pen. If you want to go out and buy one that a journal that speaks to you or whatever, go for it. But it's not, you don't have to do anything big and enormous about it. And my suggestion is just to sit down with the pen and the page and just get into the process of just being with yourself. And yes, your inner critic, your whatever you call your inner voices, they're going to get wild and crazy because you're doing something so selfish for yourself. And I think too, just getting people to understand that this is behavior change. We've been spending our life, we come into this world with all our creativity, talents, everything that we need to live a very successful, happy, healthy life. But then we get conditioned with, parents who mean well, but they're parenting us the way their parents parented them. And then we get into school that, we have to pass the test and all, we somehow get lost in the process. So, and we go out into the world and all the things that we should be doing this, we should be getting a job, we should all that. We have all this programming and conditioning in us. So journaling is something very different, and it's very usual for all the inner critics and things like that we created to help protect us, but somehow we've been spending so much time in our head that they've been left to their own devices and didn't turn out so good. But so I guess that's the key thing to get people to understand is that this is something very, very different, and what's going to keep you from starting or whatever is not that you're too busy, or yes, that's all a factor. But the thing is, there's so much fear, so much anger, so many emotions that we have been told to repress. We just don't. We're just scared with the overwhelm. So the key is to start slow, and then when it feels right, start with whatever works for you. Some people like to start with questions. Your journal loves when you ask questions. So or you make statements like this is really stupid. I don't know what I'm doing. And the key is, as I said earlier, just focus on the free writing. Focus on the process, not the content or the things that were drilled into us long ago about grammar and dangling participles and all those kinds of things.
Right. But I imagine, like meditation, the hard part is just being with yourself.
Absolutely. It's something that we have, we've had very little, if any, experience of that. So that is a very, it's just like sort of like, doing something like bungee jumping or something that, never in your wildest dreams would you ever imagine. But it's like, and again, as I tell people, we're just been so programmed to be left brain and be logical and practical and work things out and solve problems and that. But we've had this whole part of our brain that was just been sitting there for so many years. So it's like we're getting back into, if you will, the rest of our story. So we're getting back into our body, which we left many, many years ago. So there are all kinds of things. And so it's like, and we're so used to being so hard on ourselves, and the self-sabotage and all those words that we hear so much about. But it's always just, take it easy is my thing. So it's just like, it just, it'll take a while to get into it and get used to it. And, with me, with my own experience, I got so scared that I went back to doing my journaling on the computer, and because I had no idea what was going on inside of me. But then it's just like it was like nothing doing on the computer. So I went back on it, and interestingly enough, I found a book by a writer who wrote the book on the art of fiction writing, and she introduced me to the inner critic. So I think that's what's interesting too, is the process of when you do the journaling, do it consistently, synchronistic things start occurring. So it's like somehow you're writing a letter to the universe, and the universe is saying, oh, that's what she wants to do, or that's where she's going, or whatever. And boom, the book that you need to read, or the person that you need to talk to shows up in your life.
Right? It's like you're communicating with that source.
Yes,
And I love how you say to ask questions because often when you do ask a question, it gets answered. We just
yes.
don't ask. We don't think we can ask. Like, who are we to ask?
Right, exactly. Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, too, is it's like uh, the magic, the mystery, the energetic, you know, exploration. It's like, and it's funny that you just know that maybe if you don't have the answer exactly, and that the first day you do it, it's like you feel that you've opened up something, and it's like, and then boom, something. You'll be in the shower and you'll have, aha, oh, that's what that is. So just again, you just got to trust the process. It's just like just showing up and doing it as consistently as you possibly can. That's the key.
Yeah, and I imagine having an attitude of play is important rather than I'm going to control or do this, in a more structured way.
Oh, absolutely. It's fun. It's like I have a one client, she's like, one of the things that works for her is incorporating doodling. It's just like, yeah, and some people like to work with crayons. Some like to, include, you know, artwork or, you know, painting. Well, whatever. It's just, again, just the permission that just think back to a long time ago when you're a child and just we've forgotten what play is like, and again with all the other conditioning and things that are our issues in our tissues are telling us, oh, you shouldn't be this, you're an adult, all those types of things. So it's so rather than fighting against all these things, just start taking a thing. Isn't this interesting? And like I said, and just really have the fun of exploring who really lives in your body.
Hmm. So, do you suggest going into it with a blank mind, like so you allow things to come forward that need to be written down? A quiet
Yes,
mind.
well, I guess I to say yes, but also just to say be curious, be interested. It's like, what's going on? So I think it gets back to the questions of, hmm,
Hmm.
who am I today, or what's this all about, or so I think too, that's the whole thing that's, rather than like with meditation, you're trying to quiet the mind, do it, it's just like, I think just getting into uh, taking some deep breaths and just really allowing whatever that comes up to come up. So I think the whole thing of taking, again, changing your perspective as opposed to, oh, the blank page, what am I going to write about? That just take a look at it as an invitation to explore more and more of who you are.
And have a sense of curiosity.
Curiosity, absolutely.
Yeah.
Beginner's mind,
Yeah.
whatever. It's just, yeah, and just have fun. It's just like, again, this is huge behavior change. So it's just, your monkey mind uh, and has been, ruling you. It's like, but yeah, just the whole experience of getting back into your body and just realizing your soulfulness, your spirituality, your mind, what's going on in your body, your energy fields, everything like that. It's just like it's it, at first it can be truly overwhelming, almost to the point of, oh my gosh, I can't be this great, can I?
Right. Yeah, because we just don't train like this. I wish we did from childhood, but we don't. So it's a new skill.
Yes, but it's one of these things. We always hear that, oh, we got the answers in this and all that kind of stuff. But once you do something such as journaling consistently, and you drill down into your cells and and your soul. It's just like you find out you do have all the answers.
Hmm. Right? It's all there if you just ask. It's really
And
incredible.
the answer is, Jayne, is it's just work, work, work. It's just like anything else. Like, um,
Hmm.
the old saying of how do I get to Carnegie Hall? Practice, practice, practice. And it's just like, I think it's Woody Allen or somebody said, 90% of life is just showing up. So just, consistently, daily showing up for yourself. It's like that's uh, one of the many benefits of journaling.
I love that. And it is for yourself. It's something very loving to do.
Yes, definitely self-full, not selfish.
Hmm.
Selfish is their words. Self-full and self-love are our words. So
Yes. I imagine too, a lot of our conflicts, they have like we're stuck, we're stressed. And I think if we approached it more with this curiosity and just got out of our own way, we would kind of go, oh, that's what that's all about. And it wouldn't eat us up inside the same.
definitely. And then, again, we're just uh, we're going on how we've been taught or raised or conditioned, and just we just can't um, underestimate the influence of all these outside resources or sources and what they say and how they influence us. And like I said, it's just really, really a big behavior change to get to the point, like I say, where I am now 20 some years into the process where it's like, isn't this interesting? I mean, I'm just say I'm totally different, but I'm really me. Maybe it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but it's just like it
Hmm.
feels right now. It's like, okay, so everything is not a catastrophe. Everything isn't a stress. It's getting your whole mind to, and that's one of another benefits with journaling. It really helps you rewire your brain and get your whole process into, oh, isn't this interesting? Rather than, oh, I'm stressed, I'm stuck, I'm da da da, I can't sleep. It's like, you can do something about it. So
Hmm.
but it's just again, it's just behavior change and just requires consistent work,
Yeah. And showing up, like you said.
showing up exactly.
Love that. Any other tips or any examples that are really, really stand out for you where you had like, a big question and then a really marvelous answer?
I think the key thing is people just understanding um, that it's okay to give themselves permission to take care of themselves. I think that's the biggest thing, the biggest consistent thing. But people talk about, I'm too busy. All when I think, down all the excuses of why people can't start or why they can't get consistent or all the kind of stuff. It's like, okay, why don't we just work on taking putting a different spin on a different perspective about and focus on positive things like goals and dreams. And I think that's that whole process of, as you said, being curious, being open to the fact of, when you go on vacation, you don't know you're going to a place you've never been before, but it's just like, you pay your money and you go and you see, oh, what do you try this and you try that, and if you can just get that type of perspective of journaling, it's just like it's a free tool, therapeutic tool that can help you live a happier, healthier life.
Absolutely. And in fact, if you don't do something like this, eventually all those loops and anxieties do create some form of disease because they lay hidden and they should be brought to the light and then they're dispersed.
Absolutely. And, and we're also, again, raised in as my next door neighbor calls it, the medical industrial complex that just focus solely on uh, um, the organic, the ear, nose, and don't look at, we are beings, we are spiritual, mental, physical beings, and by getting into those emotional, physical, excuse me, emotional and spiritual and mental aspects of ourselves that have just basically been sitting there for such a long time. And we really stir things up and go on a really archaeological dig exploration experience. We find out, wow, we're all one. Guess we have different components to us, but we are all still one human being.
Yeah, it's really fascinating. How empowering, Mary. How do people get more of what you're teaching and maybe get one of the books that you've read or written?
Well, if they go to create right, that's WRITE now.com, that is a website full of, they can download a free introductory workbook. Is called Build a Lasting Journaling Power Practice in 14 days. So there's that. I have probably about 400 or so journaling power prompts. I have probably in the neighborhood of about 1,500 blog articles on all shapes and sizes of health and wellness and journaling tips and techniques, as well as a store with about 20 different workbooks on things like declutter your life, love your body, who am I? So
Mm,
no matter where you are in your life process, we have something that can meet you where you are and give you some tools to work with your specific issues in your tissues in your life.
and I imagine a lot of this came simply from journaling, all this
Oh,
information that you're
definitely.
sharing. Yeah,
Oh,
it's so
yeah, and that's how,
wonderful.
yeah, and it's funny because it was one of these things that one day I was writing and it's like, it was time to write my first book. And that's, my journal helped me all the step through the way. And then boom, I found a teacher who, taught how to write your best-selling nonfiction book. And it's just like, by that point, I was just so much trusting the process that's like, okay,
Yeah,
that's where I need to go next. And so it just pointed me to all the things I needed to do to write my first book. So it's just, as I say, this is better than any drug I've ever been on, Jayne.
right. And it makes life such an adventure. Like it's just, it's fun to hear, and it can be like that.
Absolutely. And it's just, and I'm at the point that I truly don't get and understand, people being stressed out, being uh, anxious, being depressed. I mean, I'm not denying that it's not there, but it's just like there's something that you can do about that if you choose to. And again, with us being so wired for negativity, it is really, really challenging. But boy, being on the other side of this, it's just like I wouldn't trade it for anything for the world. It's just like, the universe works in mysterious ways. So it's just, uh,
Mhm.
like
Right.
it's just a, amazing. It's just like just and like as you said, just by by being curious and by just being, what about this or what about that or
Yeah.
just being present is just like that's such a very good starting point.
Yeah. A beautiful way to live. And
Yes.
it's within everyone,
Mm-hmm.
which is incredibly important. Because sometimes we think it's outside ourselves. Oh, Mary can do it, but
Oh,
little
yeah,
old me,
exactly. Yeah, yeah. Oh,
right?
Mary, you're so
Yeah.
special. Yeah. It's like, yes, that's true. Now, what about yourself? Are you a journaler?
Well, I've done it through meditation and then just writing what comes. So I think it's very
Oh,
similar.
that's cool
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Yep.
I've done a lot of that in my life, especially if I'm wondering what's next. And sometimes the answers just pop into your head when you're
Uh-huh.
walking your dog or, so yeah, having the question and then doing it. But you're
Oh,
reminding
absolutely.
me to do it on a daily basis. I don't always do it daily. So this is a great message. And I love your .com. Create right now with right. Isn't that beautiful? Thank you. Thank you, Mary. Thank you so much.
Oh,
And
thank you, Jane. I just, thank you for helping me spread the word.
yes. And all those links I will put in the show notes so people can find what you're teaching. Love
That
it.
sounds wonderful.